Hello, welcome back. Alright, so here is where I am with the model. I put all the pieces that were going to be painted black, I put it on the model. I started the underside as you see here. I still have a little bit of little hidden spots like underneath the fuel tanks I still need to paint over. And I still haven't gotten to the top part. Reason being is that the humidity here, I sprayed this the other overnight, but today the humidity here in New York is way too high to be painting, so I'm just going to leave this until the humidity cools down a bit. Then I'll go ahead and paint this. So this is how it's looking. It's coming along. I did have a little bit of a challenge, like I had predicted, gluing the front and the back. There was quite a bit of a seam and does need quite a bit of filler. I don't know how much you can see the filler in there. It's not perfect, but hopefully once I paint it over, it'll look better. Or if it's not, I'll just have to repaint it. And if you take a look on the other side, there's also some gap issues here. But the two missile pylons kind of covers it up. And I am counting that once I paint and put the missiles in here, you're really not going to be able to... Oops. Almost had an accident there. Fumbles. Alright, sorry for that. Alright, once you put these in here, you are really not going to see that little gap in there. I mean, unless you're really looking for it. I'm just going to be hidden in the shadows with the missiles there. So it's all in good. And quite a bit of filler that I needed on the edges and where the pylons and the fuel tank met, and also the bottom stabilizers here, they needed a little bit of filler as well. So you can see this is what that Rust-Oleum looks like. It's really a matte black here. Well, you can see that in the light here. If you take a look at the wings, on the other side of the wings, which I haven't sprayed it again, see it has a little bit of a shine. So this is the Rust-Oleum with the Rust-Oleum satin finish on it. So it gives it a little bit of a satin finish, which I kind of like. So that's what will be the final finish on this. Alright, so stay tuned. I will finish painting this, and then I'll show you where we at. Probably the next segment of this is going to be this all painted black. And at that stage I'll go back and paint the little details like the engines, nacelles here and so forth. Anything else I see that I need a little bit more painting, and then it will be ready for the decaling. So that should be the next segment right before I start the decaling. I still need to paint all the missiles, the wheels, wells and so forth. So I may do that. I'm thinking I might do that after I start the decaling. While I'm not going to decal everything at once. I'll probably decal one side or one section, let that dry, and then move on to another section. So in between the drying the sections, I'll probably go ahead and paint and get the missiles and everything else ready. They'll be painted different colors than the main body of the plane. Alright, so that's my little update. I'll be back in the next segment. Thank you. Hello, just to show you before I start the decaling, everything has been painted black. I painted little details on the leading edge, aluminum, painted the dark gray here for the swing arms. I think that's the inflatable bladder there. I took off the masking for the wheel wells, test fitted the landing gear, make sure everything fits fine. Plus, now that everything is painted and so forth, as I put on the decals, I'll be able to just use the landing gear to stand this on, so it's not resting on the body, so it'll be resting on the gears. Excuse me. So apply a nice glossy coat, as you can see here. So once all the decals are done, I'll apply a satin finish over it to seal it up. I'm going to do the bottom first, then the top decals, and lastly the decals here on the nose. Reason being, I can do the bottom, then I'll set it down, and then just work on the top. And the nose, this way I have something to hold on to it as I'm moving it around, and then I'll leave that for the last part. And then I'll still have to finish up all the AIM 54s. Alright, be right back. Hi, and welcome back. Okay, so I made quite some bit of progress since the last little update before this. Everything has been painted. Apply all the decals here, top, front, bottom. Apply the wheels, apply the landing gears, apply the engine nozzles in the back. So right now what I need to do is apply a little finish on this to seal in all the decals. and just do a little bit of light weathering on it. That's the main body of the plane. And then I have all the armament. The way I'm going to arm it, I'm going to use the AIM 54s. So I start applying the decals for that, and so I'm going to put in the tail hook here, and a little bits and bobs. So getting there. So hopefully the next update after this, this should be pretty much all done. All right, thank you. Well, welcome back to the final segment of this build. Alright, so here you have the final model. Everything has been painted, decaled, oversprayed, and so forth. And all the clear parts have removed the masking. I've applied all the vessels. I decided to do the full complement of AIM 54s, along with a couple of side winders here, side pylons. So overall, the model it was okay. I mean, there were some fit issues and so forth that I mentioned throughout the build. But just to quickly summarize before I do the slideshow of the final build here, there are some fit issues, especially connecting the front end to the main body of the plane. So there was quite a gap that needed filling here, quite some filling that needed here along the edges, top and bottom. That needed some filling. Again, the model is a combination of engraved and raised panel lines, which is so-so. Let's see, some other fit issues, putting on the wing pylons here. Unfortunately, the way that mud didn't really come out too well lined up, so they're a little fiddly. Putting in the wing pylons for the missiles, also the fuel tanks. I just had to kind of hold them in place until they dried. The doors, the wheel well doors, they came out fine. Landing gear was fine. Again, there was a big gap there where the wheel well, so just covered up with a blank styrene card, so you don't see inside. I had the front vanes here. I glued them in place. It's in real F-14s. They were disabled after a while. They were just not used. They did nothing for the aircraft. I did a little bit of light weathering, which probably is not going to show up too well here in the video. Given that it is all black on black, it'll be kind of hard to see. Maybe you can see a little bit of the weathering there, where you do have some recessed details in there. Probably shows up a bit better in real life. The other details here kind of all disappears unless you hit the light just right. Decals were okay. Unfortunately, if you take a close look, for example, there on the, you see there's a little strip of white there around the blue there. So the registration is not 100% accurate. Now in real life, that's a fraction of a millimeter, but against black, that's really noticeable. I was trying to figure out what to do with it. Try and carefully cut it out. With a X-Acto knife, but then I don't know how well I can cut a circle freehand, or even with a template without marring up the finish, or just let it be. It's not great, but I'll let it be in this case. I'll know better next time. And that's it. If you have any questions about this plane, this particular model, the Testors Fujimi 148 F-14A Tomcat, let me know. Leave in your comments below or PM me. So I'll take some pictures and show you the slideshow. Excuse me. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'll be starting my next build, which will be Michael Cohen's Curse build, starting this Saturday, I believe. All right. Thank you much. Take care.